If I woke up today and lost all my violin skills, I could learn the violin from scratch quickly because I know exactly how to practice effectively. After playing the violin for 30 years and teaching hundreds of students, I found out the most effective methods to master the violin step by step. And today I will show you how you could make great progress on the violin even with only 15 minutes daily. And the first thing I will focus on is playing beautifully from the start. That means that no matter what I'm playing, I want to make sure that my sound is beautiful. I want to make sure that every note I'm playing has the right intonation and just that it's really beautiful to listen to. So now maybe you think, but if you're starting from scratch, how do you want to play beautiful from the start? So we'll see that in the next steps, but first, something to understand is that it doesn't matter how old or how talented you are. I had hundreds of students that could, and I'm sure you could too. And the first step for achieving that is practice one thing for 15 minutes. One big mistake I did when I learned the violin was to spend way too much time on one thing, staying stuck, not making any progress, just being frustrated, practicing the same thing over and over again. Some other mistake that a lot of students do is that they will practice everything for just a few minutes. Some open string for 3 minutes, then some exercises for 2 minutes, then their piece, and they will just play everything very superficially. That doesn't work either. That's why 15 minutes is very good to make sure that you are making enough progress on this thing, and then you go to the next one. And something too I learned after studying hundreds of books, especially how the best violinists worldwide learn the violin, is that I really understood that if you want to master the violin and play it beautifully, you need to spend at least 50% of your time working on your technique. That means doing specific technical exercises to improve your playing instead of just playing pieces. Now, the easiest way to achieve that is using a 4-block system like we do with our students in the Violinacademy. In each block, you will practice something different to master the violin. Block A will be bow mastery, where you aim to have a beautiful sound with a bow. Block B will be left hand mastery, where you aim to play every note systematically, perfectly. Block C will be when you learn how to practice effectively one piece so that you can make a beautiful recording of it. And Block D, artistry mastery, is where you learn to really play free musically like a professional. And first, let us see how to have a perfect intonation, because I know I struggled a lot with that at the beginning. So the first thing is that you want to be sure to have the right posture, like a professional violinist. You'll never see professional violinists holding the violin like this or having all the fingers like that. Basically, you want to make sure that everything is aligned, coming here, and then keeping your finger above the string, not too far. Especially the forefinger should be always ready to be played. And focus on leaving the finger on the string the whole time when you can. Here, one mistake too I will do when I learned the violin, it was just to look at the best violinists in the world and try to imitate how they did. But actually there is a big difference between learning the violin as a beginner and being like one of the best in the world. And the best in the world, very often they will lift the finger because they have vibrating. And when you do vibrato, you lift the finger, but not when you play without vibrato. Here you want to leave the finger on the string. Then I will really focus on one string exercises first. What it means that instead of trying to play scales and complicated exercise on all strings, I will try to play perfectly only on one single string first. So let me show you a few exercises I wrote for our students in the Violinacademy. So here, like you can see, they are very simple. Most of them are only 2 notes exercises, E to F sharp to G, and then we play them in the most basic rhythm. But the difficulty, and what we advise all our students, is to focus on the perfect intonation. They are easy, but not easy to play perfectly. So make sure that every note is exactly the right one, instead of, like most people, just repeating fast but with a bad intonation. And only after you are sure that every note is perfect, Then should start really repeating it in different rhythms, like you can see here. And by the way, if you are an adult beginner and you want to learn to play the violin beautifully, we are organizing a free violin masterclass. You will find a link under this video to register. Then let's see the second block, how to have a beautiful sound. That's super important. That's something I will spend way more time. And here what I would advise anyone wanting to improve his sound is to practice on open strings without the left hand, because it's difficult to improve both at the same time. So on open string it means just that, without the left hand. And here what I will really look for is first the same, having the right posture. That means first having the right bow grip. So after studying hundreds of books and hundreds of professional violinists, here what I found is the best bow grip. It's the Franco-Belgian bow grip, where you put the thumb here in the middle, then the third finger there, the index here, in contact with these knuckles, not here, but here. And the forefinger should be rounded, and the same for your thumb. And it should not look like this, or being too high, or the finger too apart, or the finger too close, but just like that. And then what I will do is really focus on playing very relaxed. That's one of the biggest beginner mistakes. Playing too tense, and because of that, it doesn't sound good. Just aim for a soft, beautiful sound. Then the next thing, that will be to focus on keeping the bow parallel to the bridge, so that the sound can stay beautifully instead of playing like that. For that, you can just use a camera or a mirror and look at your bow in it. But here, there's something very important. It's like how I will practice that. And that will be doing really only basic rhythms on one string. Okay? Instead of trying directly like to doing like Paganini crazy things, I will just do very simple rhythm on one string. That could be only on the A string, half note, quarter note, eighth note. Aiming for keeping the right posture, playing relaxed, and keeping the bow parallel. That's all. Then let us see how to practice effectively any piece. So this is probably where I wasted most of my time, spending too much time on pieces and practicing them badly. And the most important principle I will apply is to separate the difficulties. The most basic thing to do is just to separate left hand practice and bow practice when it comes to my piece. For that, let's take a very simple example with the Ode to Joy from Beethoven. And here, because it's quite fast, most students have difficulties playing those notes accurately for the intonation and having a beautiful sound at the same time. So here, what I will do is first practice only the bow, and only for this part that I want to improve. Practicing it on open string, really focusing only on the bow. That means instead of wasting my time practicing the whole piece, I will practice only what's difficult for me, and I will practice separately the bow on the left hand. The bow on open string like I just showed. For the left hand, I will implement my complete acceleration method. For that, I will play every note on half note first. Aiming for a perfect intonation. Then the same in quarter note. And then I will play two notes very fast and make a pause, like that. Pause. Pause. Then I will do the same, but I will start one note later, like that. Pause. Pause. Here the goal is to automate my left hand. And then I will go always faster. Now playing it in eighth note. Then I will do 3 notes fast. Pause. Pause. But playing everything technically perfectly is not everything. That brings us to our block D, have fun. And that's really important so that you don't end up playing like perfect but like a good student, playing boring. Of course, it's easy to say have fun, play freely, play musically, but actually what really helped me and helped a lot of our students is just to play and imitate the best violinists and ensemble worldwide. For that, just take some easy piece. So let's keep with the Ode to Joy and listen to the beginnings. I will select here the first 4 bars and I will play them with a beautiful recording, trying just to have fun. Okay, and that's all. I will play with accompaniment, trying like to imagine like if I was part of the orchestra, trying really to feel like I'm playing with all those amazing musicians together. You could too just listen to it and play it one time alone. And what's really useful is to close your eyes. Because when you close your eyes, then it's easier to really focus on the music and forget about the technical side.